Well, hey everybody, it is June 3rd, 2013. I'm Wes Hagen. Welcome to Clos Pepe Vineyards in Santa Rita Hills, Santa Barbara County. Today we're going to take a little time out of the vineyard and I'm going to teach you how to taste wine like a pro. I've been a professional wine judge at 4 different international wine competitions for 17 years, and I remember the first time I went to a wine competition, I read some books, but I was really nervous tasting with people, and I ended up tasting with some real pros who taught me how to do this. So I'm hopefully going to pay that back and teach you guys how to taste wine like a pro too. The most important thing is to drink what you love what you drink, and realize that sometimes it's more important to drink whatever. It doesn't matter what you drink, but who you're drinking with. That's more important. I'd rather drink bad wine with my friends than delicious wine with jerks. But get the right wine, the right food, and the right people together. That's where the magic happens. And discovering those wines and putting those wines on your table is why we evaluate. We don't evaluate at table. We don't evaluate when we're given a glass of wine by a friend. Of course, we're going to make a decision how much we like the wine. But this is what we evaluate wine in an evaluative situation. Not at table. I don't take notes at table. I don't take geeky notes on every wine I drink. But sometimes I do want to sit and really evaluate wine, and that's what I'm going to teach you guys how to do today. So I've got 2 blind wines that my wife pulled sort of semi-randomly out of the wine cellar. I don't know what they are, so I'm going to taste them, and I'm going to show you how I go through sort of my iterations of what am I drinking, do I like it, and how can I get, whether it's an old world wine, new world wine, what varietal, what's kind of going on in my head as I taste. So what I've done is I put a little bit of each wine in each glass, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to rinse the glass with the wine and then dump it out. Then I'm going to give it a sniff. Wine smells wonderful. And then I'm going to put a little wine in the glass, maybe about a finger, ounce and a half. Give it a good swirl, kind of excite the wine on a molecular level, and that'll get all the vapor coming up into the bowl of the glass. And then take a nice big whiff. A lot of minerals, a lot of apple, a little bit of peach skin, tiny bit of tropicality. It smells like a lean Chardonnay, maybe grown either here in the Santa Rita Hills or someplace in a cool climate where it produces really wonderful saline, sort of ocean breeze aromatics. Almost reminds me sort of one of my wines, but it smells like it may have just a little bit of neutral oak fermentation to it. But very, very light oak. And the wine smells wonderfully austere, minerally, and exactly sort of what I love in white wine. So as I smell it, I want to think New World, Old World. I'm thinking Old World style made in the New World because it's fresh, it's young, it's vibrant, it's minerally. It could be a young Chablis. It could be a young bone-dry Vouvray. But that's sort of what I'm going. I'm also looking at the edge on white paper, and I see no evidence of oxidation or aging. It looks like a nice light straw color, and the meniscus is white, just clear, just like water. So I don't think the wine is any older than maybe '09, probably 2010 or 2011. So young, New World, varietal. It's not Sauvignon Blanc. It's not Viognier. I don't think it's Chenin Blanc. I think it's Chardonnay, but it's a very atypical Chardonnay. It doesn't smell like butter or oak. Certainly not something like a Rombauer or something from Napa. This is a very lean, wonderfully made white wine. You notice how I drew some air up through the wine into my sinuses? That gives me a really strong aromatic impression of the wine. Beautiful acidity, wonderful minerality, makes me want oysters, makes me want some fried chicken. It's a very nice wine, very lean. If I was judging the wine, is there anything I could find wrong with the wine? I think it has a wonderful finish. It's very lean and perky, and I would probably put it somewhere between a silver and a gold medal. Why not just gold? Well, it's hard to get to gold unless the wine blows the top of my head off. I think this is just recently bottled, and I think it can really gain some richness and some breadth as it ages. It's still pretty lean, but it's quite lovely wine. So I'm just going to guess that is a Santa Barbara County or Central Coast Chardonnay that is made in a very lean, low oak style. If I had to guess, I would guess it was a low oak wine made in the Santa Rita Hills, probably 2010 or 2011. Now moving along to the red wine, I put a little tiny bit in this Rita glass, and I'm going to give it a little swirl, make sure all the surface area is covered, drain it out so I know that I'm smelling only the wine and nothing that came out of the cupboard or the refrigerator. Oh boy, that is big, rich, ripe style. Immediately I think I immediately think New World because of the big, bright sort of boysenberry, blackberry, cassis fruit. Is it a cab? Is it Old World, New World? It's New World. Is it cool climate, warm climate? This was cool climate because of the acidity and the minerals. This has got to be warm climate because it's plush and fruity, really sexy and come hither. Some nice spice notes, a little bit of either maybe American oak or probably maybe Hungarian oak. Could be French oak too. It's quite fine. I'm looking for vanilla and coconut for American oak. Vanilla by itself kind of for Eastern European oak, and then French oak is very complex and complete. My guess is this is either Hungarian or French. My guess is warm climate, New World, and I say that because it's so fruit forward. It's got so much of that wonderful berry fruit that's just sexy and enticing. This is one of those wines you smell it, you just got to put it in your mouth, and that's what I love about it. As I smell it and I think about it, I'm already thinking gold medal because as a wine judge, this is something that's going to draw my attention into the glass. Judging, you kind of tend, when you do more wines than just a few, you tend to go towards the fruitier, bigger wines, and that's sometimes why lighter wines don't do so well in the magazines, because if you taste 100, it's the delicate and elegant wines that kind of skip some of your attention, but it's the big, bold wines that do get our attention. It could be Zinfandel, and I'm thinking like Amador Zinfandel made in a big style, but it could be another Italian varietal. But just because of all the fruit and the warm climate character, I'm just going to go ahead and say that it is a big, ripe Zinfandel from 2010 from the Amador Valley up in Northern California. Oh, it's plush and plummy. You know, it could be a Merlot in another hot climate, but there's a softness to it. It's a little too soft. I would expect more tannins in a Merlot, so Zinfandel would make sense because it's so plush and light. This is a low acid style wine, while the white wine was very high acid. The more I think about it, Zinfandel seems to make sense. I would also think Merlot makes sense, but it has more of an Italian varietal kind of character to it. Rich, delicious, easy. I would like some more acid though. And of course, I live in the Santa Rita Hills, so all the wines I drink have plenty of acidity. And when I taste something soft like this, it's more like 3.8 pH instead of the regular 3.4, 3.5 that I'm used to. The softness makes me want think, is it going to have enough acid and structure to match with food? It doesn't have a lot of tannin. It's very soft in the finish. So I would like a little more tannic grip or a little more acidity to structure the wine. So I'm going to go silver medal on that too, but this is a really, really nice drinker. Great cocktail wine. Drink this all night long, no problem. All right, let's hurry up and see what we got here. So in the first bottle, oh, okay, this is my friend Joanne's wine. So I actually helped Joanne make this wine. Small and Tall, 2011, Chardonnay, Golden Nugget. And this is from the Clos Pepe Vineyard in Santa Rita Hills. So this was actually a Santa Rita Hills Clos Pepe wine, but from one of our producers, Joanne DeRay. Tiny little, I think, 42 case production. Delicious, wonderful, very minerally. I should have kind of noticed that this wine had Clos Pepe written all over it. So pretty close, 2011, Small and Tall. And we've got over here, oh, okay. This is the Bray Vineyards 2010 Barbera from the Shenandoah Valley of California. This was sent to me by a gentleman named Oliver, who I met at a friend's wedding. We were talking about wine, and he was kind enough to send me some of his Barbera and also some of his Verdelho, which was absolutely delicious, a white wine that's very rarely grown. 15.4 alcohol does not show in this wine. It's very fruity, very bright, very delicious. So kind of the final summation is when we evaluate wines, the most important thing is, do you like it? And if you like it, it's a good wine. And if you don't like it, it's not a good wine. I thought both these wines showed a great amount of typicity. I'd like to thank my wife, Chanda, for not only producing this video and standing behind the camera, but also to recognize that she chose two excellent wines for the evaluation, because one, of course, was minerally and one I should know, and one that's very different that I didn't know. Both are, this is more of a food wine. To me, this is with a level of acidity. This wine would probably be delicious to drink sort of as your guests arrive, or just sort of as a stand-up cocktail wine, although it would be delicious in other situations with certain foods as well. I would do this with oysters, maybe this with a nice steak or a burger. It'd be delicious with pizza, pasta, especially with anything with tomatoes, because the tomatoes would add the acidity and this one would be a little bit softer. So that's what we learned today. I hope you had a good time. If you have questions about what you saw, put them in the comment sections and I'll answer them for you. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.